Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like balance has been re-achieved in the world. The poles are aligning correctly. What I mean by that is the fact that this new Civic is bringing things back the way they should be. The Civic has been a benchmark vehicle in its class. Well, this is the 10th generation, but maybe generations 8 and 9 missed the trick a little bit. And again, this vehicle really defined a class. It really defined what Chevrolet is trying to do with the Cruze, what Hyundai is trying to do with the Elantra, what Toyota's been trying to do with the Corolla. They were all chasing the Civic. Honda missed the trick a little bit. I'm here to tell you it's back. And again, when the Civic's right, then life is good. One of the things that really impresses me about this car is the fact that, well, every car company says we really approach this as a a clean sheet design and very collaborative, and we had all our power and all the strengths of our company from all over the globe working on it together. And then you drive it and you feel like they didn't really communicate very well. In this case, I feel it, and I really feel the fact that they said that the North American team had a lot to do with not only the exterior design, but more importantly, the chassis design, the development of this. Interestingly enough, that means that this chassis, such an important vehicle for Honda, is going to be used in versions of the Civic all around the world. That's a big shift from the way it used to be. And what that means is that the North American team that built this chassis were really given the tools that they needed. And let me tell you, when you think about a sports car built off of this in the future, it's going to be good. From a value perspective, this thing's got it nailed. Previous generation went from about $17,000 up to about $24,000. This new gen starting about $18,000 and rolling up to about $28,000. But that $28,000 one, while that might be expensive for a Civic, is the new touring trim model. 450 watt sound system, which I just took out and turned up loud. It sounds great. 1.5 liter turbocharged motor. Yes, you heard that right. 38 more horsepower than the old 1.8 naturally aspirated motor, now turbocharged. You know, Honda really kind of made a name for itself going back in racing in the 80s and 90s with turbocharged race engines, but never really applied that into their passenger car line. Now, because of, pressures on getting better fuel efficiency, engines have to be downsized, but power still needs to be there. So you can either add electrification, NSX, you know what I'm talking about, or you can add a turbocharger, and that's what Honda's done a fantastic job of here. The other available motor is an all-new 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, more of the, I guess you could say the base model, or the base engine, even though it's a very smooth machine. And also, I would like to point out that the engines themselves are really downsized. They're very compact little units, which allows a vehicle to meet new front pedestrian crash standards, which are tougher and tougher to do, especially in Europe. But then also keep that cowl height low. In fact, it's 1.6 inches lower at the A-pillar than the outgoing model. And that really brings back just one last thing I want to say about what used to be Honda. Honda once was an over-engineered, overdeveloped vehicle at a fair price, almost like maybe the way BMW had a perception of. And one of the things they did well was that ergonomic feel, where it's low and wide and lean, and you've got a lot of room to really kind of feel the road. And that's exactly what we've reacquired here with this car. Way to go, Honda. So what's it like to drive? Well, these shoes help explain the story. Hey, cameraman, up here. Thank you, sir. These shoes have something in them called, here, let me show you. It's called active response boost, something or other. Shoes always have cool terms. What it is basically, it's like a foam in there, which for running gives you a lot of energy boost back in the run, but also for day-to-day walking, it feels very compliant, very comfortable. I'm going to say that about the ride on this vehicle. It feels like you can really cut it loose, and you're going to be rewarded with a rewarding drive, a kind of an active dynamic drive, but then you settle down and drive it like most people are going to drive it, let's be honest, and it's very comfortable, just like my running shoes. All right, now we're doing the good stuff. Behind the wheel of the all-new 2016 Civic. I feel very fortunate. Not many people have been in this seat, and it's a nice place to sit, I can tell you. The driving position, I think, is the first thing I really noticed. You notice it's a very kind of low and kind of horizontal sense in here, which is what Honda was of the past. They got away from it. They were following some of the other vehicle trends in interior design, which maybe it was trendy, and trendy isn't always the best thing. Sometimes you just want to stick with something that kind of defines your brand, and I think they've done it. And what it means is, not only is it visually appealing, but it really gives a sense of, it's a small car that drives big. I like that phrase. A small car that drives big. And that's what the previous generation of the Honda Civic got away from. What you really feel when you drive the Civic is the fact that it is a front to back, top to bottom, bumper to bumper, mirror to mirror, you call it, refresh. This is a brand new car. The bones that we're riding on are brand new. The stance of the vehicle is brand new. In fact, when we were out on the drive earlier today, I saw it pulled up next to a Ford Fusion, which is a very wide, very comfortable, standard American mid-size car. And guess what? This car looked, at least visually, it may be off by some centimeters here and there, but visually it looked very similar, which is not something you would say about the kind of more tiptoed previous generation Civic and current generation Corolla, which people keep buying for reasons I can't explain. The two new engines available in the Civic are a story in themselves. Honda is an engine company after all, and so you want to make sure that they really have a gem up front. And I think they've kind of nailed that. These are very compact little motors. The 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder puts out 176 horsepower, which is good numbers from a motor that sized. And the 2 liter puts out 153 horsepower, but these are brand new motors. We're still figuring it out as we go. So yeah, good power delivery, but it's a lightweight vehicle too. You feel the balance of it. And I've always said, if you've seen me on any of these productions in the past, the most fun car to drive is the one that has just enough horsepower to get in trouble, but it's still manageable. One of the other places I think the previous generation Civic was correctly knocked around a little bit was its infotainment system. It felt a bit kind of cobbled together. It didn't feel cohesive. Well, jump ahead to 2015 on the 16 model, and we have the blessing of the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Honda's not the first to this place, but it's great to see them just embrace that and basically take away the whole thing of our infotainment system is better than yours, Chevrolet or Toyota or Mercedes or you name it. It just says, you know what, we're familiar with what's on our phones, we know how to use them, so let's have the brains of those be displayed in a way that's safe and comfortable and easy to use. It takes away the differentiator, if you will, between brands, but I don't think people are buying cars based on the infotainment systems anyway. So it's great to see Honda really grasp that idea and just move on. So there it is. The Civic is shipping to dealerships near you, I believe, as I speak, so you'll be able to see them on your neighborhood street soon. I firmly suggest you get out and get to the dealership to take a feel of it. There's some strong competition in this space now. The current generation Chevrolet Cruze and the next generation, fantastic. There's a new Elantra coming out soon, also fantastic. Real game changers, if you will. The Ford Focus is a dynamic gem, a lot of fun to drive. Heck, even Kia's got some good stuff in this space. But you always look to Honda to be the leader in it. You always look to Honda to say, okay, here's the bar, we're going to push past it. And they've done it here. This is a very nice car. I don't have much else to say. Otherwise, I'm going to turn this off and go for a drive. Thanks for watching.